Movie Crusaders, and welcome to our latest episode. My name is Sean Waskrug, and today we're going to be reviewing one of my more anticipated films of 2023, and that is 65. Now, this is a movie that has been on my most anticipated list for the past 2 years. Last year, I just basically read the synopsis of it, and it sounded super intriguing with me based off of the two leads. This year, it skyrocketed up my list once we saw the first initial trailer. That trailer being is we have Adam Driver, who plays Mills, this astronaut who goes on a mission basically to pay for medicine to help his sick daughter, Naveen, played by Chloe Coleman. And while on this mission, crash lands on a mysterious planet with only one other survivor, played by Ariana Greenblatt, whose name's Koa. And later we find out that this planet that they land on is actually planet Earth 65 million years ago, hence the name 65, in the land of the dinosaurs. Now, for me, you have Adam Driver, who's an actor that I love, and you have dinosaurs, which anyone who knows me and knows this channel, Jurassic Park is probably one of my favorite films of all time. So you throw Adam Driver in with dinosaurs, and that immediately shoots all the way up to my most anticipated list. It was probably like in the 20s to 30s last year, and it shot up into my top 5 immediately after seeing that trailer. Now, as much as I was excited for this film, I did have some worries when I saw that the runtime was an hour and 33 minutes, including the credits, because that basically means that this movie is going to be quick. In some cases, that is a very, very good thing. In other cases, it also can kind of leave some red flags going that there's might not be enough of a story to really elevate this film up to a certain standard. And with this kind of film, it was something that made it alarming, which didn't necessarily temper my expectations a little bit, but it definitely made me worried about what I was going to see. Was that worry fixed by the end of this film? No, it was not. But nonetheless, I, for the most part, thought 65 was a relatively solid film. Did it match my expectations and anticipation levels? No, it did not. It disappointed in a way. But I still think that the movie was solid. There are two things, to me, that really hindered the film, and one is the length. There is a lot of story that is desperately missing from this film. This film needed about 20 to potentially 30 more minutes of actual story, some build up to this mission. We got a little bit, like in the first 5 to 7 minutes, I felt like it could have used a little bit more, could have used a little bit more of the actual mission happening before the actual crash land happens. There's a character development for Ariana Greenblatt's Koa, and it's not a spoiler because you find out instantly right away, but they decided to make Koa not be able to speak the same language as Mills in the film. It's a choice that really is not needed. It's not necessary in this film to make Koa not be able to speak the same language as Mills, which is basically English. Because it really undervalues and it really makes it hard for the script to have a script when you have just Adam Driver basically acting against himself and basically having to talk to Ariana Greenblatt and, bark orders at her and tell her to do stuff, and her maybe grasping 10% of it, but then she understands stuff as we go, and there's no story there showing him teaching her or having her understand. It's just her kind of watching and kind of figuring out, and I feel like the story itself could have actually helped greatly if they were just communicating like normal. There's a lot of story that could have been developed, a lot of story that could have helped these characters grow and become stronger through the film with actual dialogue. Not that those characters don't do that in this film. I think that the absence of language in this film actually hurts this movie. Not that they don't talk, but the problem is that Driver talks basically almost by himself, just kind of talking through things, and Greenblatt's kind of like, okay, kind of thing. So, to me, that was a great hindrance to this film. It did not help the story. I do think their communications could have done better had they not chose that character decision for Koa. Like I said, the plot desperately needed about 20-30 more minutes, especially to the end as well. It just kind of ends. And as I was watching, I was like, please do not just end like this. It, like, give us a little bit more, and sadly, it just ends. Now, in terms of what really obviously grabbed my attention to this film, Adam Driver and, of course, the dinosaurs. Adam Driver's great in 99% of the stuff I've seen of him, and he's great in this. He has this character plot of, obviously, his motivation is to do this mission to save his daughter, to give her medicine, to basically take care of her illness. We find out some stuff throughout the story. We get some good callbacks from Chloe Coleman, in terms of like a video diary that she sends to her father. She's solid in all those little video diaries. But once again, it's the lack of having someone to talk to because Koa can't understand him that makes you have to kind of trug through this story until we find out more and more stuff about Adam Driver, which, once again, dialogue between the two characters greatly could have helped with that. Nonetheless, though, Adam Driver is great in the film because he's great in everything. Now, in terms of the dinosaur aspects, one worry that my co-star Brian had was that he was afraid that most of the dinosaur stuff was going to be in the trailers. While yes, there's a good chunk of the dinosaur stuff in the trailers, there is still plenty of dinosaur action in this movie that you did not see in the trailers. Is there as much dinosaur action that I wanted in the film? No, there's not. But once again, it's 90 minutes. You can't have dinosaurs the entire time as much as I would love for that to have happened. It does not happen. The dinosaurs compiled together if you're stop watching every time a dinosaur is on screen, maybe 15 minutes tops, maybe 20, not even 20, probably 15 minutes tops of actual dinosaurs. But are the dinosaurs utilized to their full advantage? Yes or no? In terms of the world that we see, there's a lot of dinosaurs missing in this. They decided to just really kind of, for the most part, outside of like one, really focus on the predatorial dinosaurs and not so much the, good or herbivore dinosaurs, which really could, once again, added more to the story, added some levity to them discovering this world. But once again, it's less than 90 minutes long, so they really aren't given much other than like almost like a video game mission. They crash, they try to survive, avoid danger, and that's basically what the film is. I think this movie could have done so much more if they were actually given, and it's not that they weren't given the time, because it's a movie. They have all the time they want. If anything, they gotta cut back. But I feel like there's so much story that's missing with 65 that really does hinder it, and really kind of keeps it from really elevating itself to doing something unique and something fun and exciting, to just like it could have been so much more. But the best way I can describe this in terms of its potential of what it could have been, and it didn't do it based off of lack of runtime, was Brightburn. Brightburn was basically a horror film of a young Superman without calling him Superman, and what happens if he actually goes bad. And that movie had so much potential to be awesome. But the problem is that by the time we actually got to the parts that we really, really wanted to see, the movie was over, and we saw that in the end credits. And it was, once again, one of those things where the movie was so short, the movie really needed to be longer so we could actually see what happened in that film and what happened with those characters. And that is what 65's problem is that it really just did not utilize its time efficiently and didn't utilize its time to its maximum effort. But, nonetheless, based off the movie we got, which was this hour 33-minute film between Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt, I still thought it was a solid film. I think the dinosaurs, when used, were used effectively. So for me, I still liked the film, even though it didn't match my expectations and anticipations. Do I recommend it? If you're a fan of Adam Driver, if you're a fan of dinosaurs, I think you're still going to get some fun out of this film. I think you're still going to enjoy this, seeing it in theaters. Is it a movie that you could wait to see in streaming? Sure. Or wait till it comes out on disc and watch it then? Absolutely. Is it something that you desperately need to go see in theaters right now with the likes of like Scream 6 and Creed and these other movies coming out here in this month? Possibly not. But for me, I still enjoyed the film overall. I'm going to give 65 a 74%. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos pop up on the Movie Crusaders. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, we have a review for Scream 6. We'll see exactly if I like that better than last year's version of Scream. As well as we will be having our Oscar show coming up this weekend, where Brian, Michaels, and myself will be talking about our predictions of who we think will win the Oscars, who we think should win the Oscars, and then also who we think should have been nominated for this year's Oscars and who we think should have won based off of our performances of 2022. So be on the lookout for that, as well as episodes for Cinemasochism and the Movie Crusaders that will be coming out sometime here next week. So we got plenty of videos coming on the channel, so hope you guys stay tuned and keep watching. And until next time, in case I don't see you, go watch some movies and have some fun.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.